Hey guys, what's up? Jared here at the house where we do the mana pool stuff. As you can see, excuse me. As you can see, dude, I literally do eat, breathe cardboard. There's stuff at the house. I can't get away from it. So, anyways, what I'm about to talk about is a little uncomfortable, but let's just get into it, all right? One of the biggest misconceptions about entrepreneurship or starting your own business or whatever is that owning your own business gives you freedom. Eventually, yes, but in the beginning your business owns you. Okay, it just does, and it will. And the goal isn't necessarily to become your own your own boss. The goal is to negotiate better terms with the thing you've built as time goes on, and hopefully you survive year one, two, three, four, and so forth, right? So, because in the beginning, and I'm not talking to people who started with partners or you got a $300,000 business loan where you could afford, minions right out the gate and so forth and so forth. This is mainly geared towards people who just wanted to do this, threw caution to the wind, said, fuck it, boom, I'm doing this. All right. So, in the beginning, the business owned you like a cheap hoe. All right. You are owner, you're janitor, cashier, customer service, shipping, inventory management, social media manager, payroll. You're probably not going to pay yourself, but like anything that you know of in like a normal job where there are departments for, where people do things, doesn't exist. You are it. One stop shop. It all falls on you. Congratulations. This is what you wanted, right? Which it kind of was. So you are the business, all right? And that's just something you have to just own right out the gate, because eventually you need to come with terms with that while you may enjoy what you're doing, you wanted to do this forever and like it's what you want to do. You have to understand, realize, and just roll with the fact that the store itself does not care about your personal plans. All right? It doesn't. In the very beginning, it does not care at all. Realistically, probably the store itself doesn't care about you and your plans at year 25 either, but we'll just keep on going. Like, the store does not care about your birthdays, your holidays, vacation time, family time, being sick, none of that shit. Doesn't care. It wants to chug along, and you got to be able to keep up with that. Now, the store doesn't really care about, if you're tired either or you just had a bad day. Nothing like that. It is the most emotionless thing you will have in your life. Okay? Just throwing that one out there. And again, it's something you just need to roll with, accept, and find a way to cope with that. All right? If you do that, half the battle in your first year or two is fucking won. All right? Kudos. If you can figure out a way to like mitigate that and deal with that, you're on a good path, right? So there's also this kind of a trap you will find yourself in. And yeah, again, apparently I'm having issues with my allergies and my throat. So sorry, guys. I'll try to keep it a little wet so I don't crackle too much. But the trap is going to be, you're going to initially be able to do everything by yourself. Like honestly, you most likely will. 95% chance you'll be able to do everything by yourself. Um, but you will hit a point where you you just can't. Especially if you make it past that year one, year two mark. All right. You'll be so used to doing it by yourself, you'll probably refuse help. You just outright won't believe nobody can do it as well as you can because it's your baby. No one's going to care about it like you will, which is partially true, but like at a certain point, you have to be able to understand that what you're building will outgrow your own capabilities. All right. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. If you're still doing your shop at year 4 and you're able to handle everything by yourself, I'm not saying you're failing or anything, but maybe reevaluate something so you can grow. Unless, of course, this is a side gig you do only on the weekends because your normal job handles everything. Because according to my distros I talk to, that's actually a pretty normal fucking thing to experience. But I digress. um, but I fell into that trap myself. Okay, like year 2, 3, even though I was working a full time job on top of doing the shop, weird hours, like I would work my normal job. I was a janitor at a high school for probably 2 years of that, 6 a.m. to 3:30, no, 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then, I'd open the shop from 4 to 8 or whatever it was in the afternoons, Monday through Thursday. Um, but eventually it got out of hand, where I would have to take on people or whatever. The cool thing about that is at that point in time, you should be able to have cultivated a somewhat trustworthy group of people, some people that you can trust to maybe run the register while you're sorting and putting cards on the inventory or whatever. One of the regulars that you can pay $50 for the day or give an employee discount or whatever. You can work stuff out. Everybody does this. I don't care who you are. You've done this when you first started out. It's just a thing. But you need to start trying to identify these people as quick as possible, so when you do grow or scale your business to where you can handle it, you already have people in mind to be like, so and so can operate stuff for a couple of hours while I do this. All right, so you got to keep that in mind. Like, it's a trap because it's something that sneaks up on you, and before you know it, if you don't have that little stepping stone in place, you're going to scramble for it, and you might pick some of the worst people to do that, and then that even makes things worse. Okay, have crappy people, they never do anything, it all falls back on you anyways, and you just might as well not have hired them or whatever. Anyways, so one of the other things is that, like, as I've said, the freedom isn't automatic, man. Like, you have a business, you are the one that has to create the systems that the business works on. You're the one that has to create every little detail that this business works on. Now, luckily, I have decent enough experience with, like, being self-employed, being a manager, all that good stuff. So, like, I kind of had a leg up on some people with that. So being responsible for everything wasn't alien to me. I kind of knew what systems I needed in place, all that good stuff, and so I didn't really start from zero there. But once you get the systems in place, once you start everything going, you start scaling, you start actually picking out people that are like, this person would be great for helping, and you can hire them on, give them a paycheck, all that good stuff. You can start delegating certain chunks of the responsibilities to them, and then once you start delegating stuff, that's when you can kind of get your freedom back, your free time, whatever you want to call it. But be aware, it's not going to be normal free time the way you think it is, or the way that it was, prior to you having your own business. Perfect example, the Minions have been forcing me to take Saturdays off, like, for the past 2 months, maybe 3, somewhere around there, give or take, they've been forcing me to take Saturdays off. However, as it happens, most of them want to have Saturdays off to do stuff themselves. So, like, even though I've had the last 3 months of Saturdays off, I think I've worked, I don't know, a month's worth of Saturdays in there just because, until I said screw it and, train my son to open up on Saturdays now. So like yay. That's another thing, but I'll go on a little bit later on that one. So yeah, once you once you once you figure out the people, you delegate, you get your freedom back, your free time, but your brain is always going to be on that place. Doesn't matter, man. It's what you built from the ground up. You're going to be thinking about it constantly, even while you're there, playing Xbox or clicking around on the computer or whatever. It's going to be in your head. So you don't ever really get real freedom from it like you would a normal job where you just clock in and out, boom, take your week vacation and can give zero fucks less about what happens, right? So the thing that you need to start doing once you hit the point to where you have people, you have your systems where you can start delegating stuff to, is you need to kind of like start negotiating better terms as far as your relationship with your shop. Okay? And by better terms, I just mean something about like where you're clocking in 70 hours a week, which is not going to be unheard of, mind you. So just go ahead and throw that one out there too. Instead of trying to clock in 70 hours a week, try to only clock in 60 hours a week. Step back a little bit, especially if you can have someone to work the closing shift for you. You open up in the mornings. Like my current schedule now is I'm at the shop anywhere from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m., sometimes as late as 10, okay? And then I will open up the shop at noon, and then when my cousin gets in at about 4 p.m., I usually dip out either right at 4 or I might stay between 4 and 5, okay? Like that's my schedule right now, um, pretty much Sunday through Friday. That's my schedule. Sometimes it's pretty good. I mean, it sounds good. It's been working. So like, that was my negotiating thing for me and my business, was to try to step back some once I had the systems in place and the people in place that I trusted enough to handle my baby. You know, um, and then you'll want to start kind of chipping away at like not answering every message, not answering every email, not answering every message that comes through on TCG Player personally, not being there for every event, not doing every damn task that there is, right? You need to start just delegating that to people. Don't be afraid to do it. Don't be afraid to train people on how to do it. Don't be afraid to leave a little note that says, this is how you do this. These are the steps for this, plastered up somewhere, and be like, got any questions, concerns, comments? Read that. If you still don't know what the fuck is going on, call me, you know, and then just boom, let it happen. So once you do that, once you start negotiating stuff, you get to where your goals are changed, right? You're beyond survival because you're probably at year 2 or 3 by now. You're trying to look at profitability at that point. Like, ah, fuck, okay, I lived through this. How do I make things profitable enough to continue going? And then you'll want to worry about like the sustainability of it and the quality of life around about the mark that I'm at now, which is like year 5. So between like year 4 and 6, you want to really lock in the whole, you've got your methods to your mayhems or whatever that make everything sustainable and profitable. And then you want to work out a way that you can kind of get back a quality of life that isn't just the shop owning you, right? You want to kind of break away from that. You want to negotiate better terms with your own beast that you built of like, yeah, hey man, I get it. I got to be there. I understand. But like, like overly attached girlfriend or something, you got to be like, hey man, just, I need some space. Okay. It's been X years, 7 days a week, nothing but you. I need some space. And you got to create that. It'll be hard. You're not going to like it, but you got to do it. Like today, restless. It's Saturday, my day off. Don't know what the fuck I was gonna do all day. I tried playing a couple of video games. It got boring. I was like, well, I should probably go to the shop and sort. Nope, don't do it. Look at me. I'm down here making a video because I'm restless. I'm so accustomed to just doing something constantly that this is what I'm gonna do. I'm your future. In a weird different shape or way or whatever, you'll have a different thing happen, I'm sure, but like you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about if you're not already there yourself, right? Um but like I think a lot of people never what's the good word? Like they try to never really make that transition, okay? I know that sounds weird because you see a bunch of people where they're like, I don't know, not so much in our space, but other spaces that I kind of poke my head into and all. It's like, I make $300,000 a year with my construction job, and I'm never there or whatever. And it's like, yeah, it's because you own the bill, you own it, and that's why you make $300,000 a year because you own it now. And like me, you've done the steps and stuff to where it's the business is kind of autonomous now, does what it's supposed to do. You don't have to have your hand into it directly, so congratulations. Like, you know, but you need to make that transition. It needs to be on your radar. You need to have a plan for it because otherwise you're just going to work yourself to death and it's not going to be enjoyable at all. It's going to be, like I said in my other video, it's going to be a job that you created that you're going to hate. And that's not what you want to happen. Okay, so you need to put in these little fail safes, these goals, milestones, whatever the hell you want to call them. So you are preparing yourself for that little negotiation you're going to have with your shop, okay? Because it's going to happen. You got to have it so that way you can transition into being able to step back a little bit, gaining some of your life back, even if it's only you get to be alone and stare at the wall for 4 hours and just uninterrupted, and you're trying to clear your head, just the quiet room staring at the wall, being like, ah, shit, this is nice because you're not being bombarded with messages, questions, trade-ins, just having to put on the customer service face and talk to people and all that good stuff. Like, you finally get some time to decompress, and that's important. It really is. You really need to go outside and touch grass, whatever the equivalent of touching grass is to you. You need to be able to do that. But you know in the end, I think that people have the goal of owning a business is to become your own boss, and it is at face value, but I think that's kind of shallow. you know I don't think the real reason people open their own businesses to become their own boss. I think it's they open their own business so they can negotiate just a better life, you know, because you get to negotiate where you work, when you work, how you work, your hours, all that good stuff. You get to negotiate all that good stuff. You get to set that stuff. You get to kind of eventually reclaim your life back, because one of the things that keeps ringing in my head that I can't remember where the hell I heard this from, and I wish I could, but like when you start your own business from scratch with nothing, no, like I said earlier, no $300,000 loan, not with 5 other people, throwing in $10,000 a piece or whatever, like none of that stuff. If you just started something because you wanted a better life for you in the future, you have to be willing to live like nobody else wants to live for 3 to 6 years easy. So the rest of your years after that are the way that you want to live. Okay? And that's different for everybody. I get that. But you'll be able to, hopefully, most likely, if you make it that long, you'll be able to cultivate and create a life that you want to live after everything is over and done with. You kind of just want to be able to start this and just eventually negotiate a fair deal with your life, with something that you've created, because you created something that allows you to hopefully negotiate a better quality of life. Okay? And I know that's not like very LGS oriented or whatever. It's kind of just general advice, but it's something that I think that you guys need to hear and understand that your shop, whatever it might be, if you aren't careful, it will consume you. And it's okay for it to consume you as long as you put up guardrails to know when to stop, to know when to shove it in a different direction, to know when you just need to be like, okay, I've had enough, like, just no, okay? Because while it sounds weird to hear and everything, you have to figure that out. You have to figure out your path, your negotiation with your own the beast that you made, okay? Once you do that, everything kind of starts to slowly fall into place. Everything that you put yourself through starts to make sense. And you don't hate life as much as you did, you know? And I mean, like, hate life as in, like, such a struggle and all, not like you want to go out to the back 40 or whatever, but, like, I think it's a trap that a lot of us fall into, and we have no backup plan to get out of that trap. Like, you just, boom, you're in it, and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, well, how do I fix this? I think if you just take a measured approach, realize that that's kind of what you want to happen, put in fail safes, milestones, or whatever to reach, like, okay, year one, I need at least some other person to come in here and help me with blah. Then you start noticing that your stuff is gaining traction. You need another person, be like, hey man, let's work a deal out, and help you run stuff while I do things, you know, like, figure it out, get it going, you can do it. It's just, it's gonna be weird, okay? It's gonna be weird, but it's gonna be probably one of the greatest things that you've done with your life, because you've built it, you've set the systems, you know where you want to go. You just got to put the effort into it to make it go into that direction. And while you're making it go into that direction, you can start to see the direct results of your effort. And you can start to see a little bit of a light at the tunnel of, like I said, okay, I don't have to work 70 hours a week now. I can work 60. And then maybe after doing that another year down the road, you can pull it back from 60 to 50. To where maybe eventually, and this is where I want to go with mine, is that I don't have to be there at all. I don't have to set foot in that store if I don't choose to, because I know that everyone working there knows how everything should be going, and it works as well as can be expected. There's going to be issues, of course, but I want to be able to know that the shop is fine without me being there. I can actually focus on doing other big boy things for the shop, like maybe I don't know, trying to do collaborations, maybe do I really want to try to get like a local card convention or something going on. You know, I that's the direction that I want to go with stuff as far as the shop goes. Um, because I love this. Obviously, I mean, you can see like yeah, like they're just stuff. I love the cardboard world. I just can't think of doing anything else at this point in time, you know. But that's where I want to go with my stuff. You guys might be completely content with just staying behind your counter for the next 30 years and just work in your shop, which is fine. That's admirable. You do you. But me, dang, sorry guys. But me, I want to build something that's self sustainable, operates itself. I don't have to be there, so I can focus on doing bigger and better things with the shop, the name, the brand, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Anyways, I think I've rambled enough, about 26 minutes here. Dear Lord, I'm sorry, guys. Not your typical video, I know, but if you made it this far, fucking kudos to you. I appreciate it. Um, like, sub, share. Let me know in the comments what you think. The email address is in the comments as well. If you want to talk to me directly, shoot me something. If you want to collaborate, do a video together or whatever. I don't know how the fuck to do that, no BS, but maybe you do and we can figure it out or something. But yeah, you guys have a good one. I'ma go upstairs and wander around aimlessly and, I don't know, stare at the wall, maybe hug my kids or something, bother the wife. It's become a pastime lately. Anyways, you guys have a good one, and like I like to say, man, life is not a dick. You don't have to take it so hard. Sometimes the dick does win. Fuck that one up. Anyways, you're a trash can, not a trash can't, and just gotta be like Nike and do it, man. Just that's it. Y'all have a good one. Talk to you in the next video.